Spurs play Brighton. Of course, they're coming off the back of that horrendous display in Belgium, losing against Antwerp. It wasn't the display that caught the eye. It was Mourinho's display after the game and his rhetoric, throwing plenty of players under the bus in the process. Frank, you first on Mr. Mourinho once again.
Well, let's say I like the face when he was on the bus, saying that he was unhappy and that he was hoping that all the players who were going to come in will be like him, unhappy about the performance. That's only fair, and I think coach has to show his angriness. I don't know how you say. But the thing is, I didn't understand whatsoever what he said during the press conference after the game, when he said about the players that they were wrong, but what they have to decide, and now he cannot say to the press, why that guy doesn't play, why that guy doesn't play. Now you will know why they don't play. Well, that was complete nonsense for me. I didn't understand at all. I don't speak very well English, but I think it was worse from Mourinho. So let's say that Mourinho is doing Mourinho. He's a fantastic actor. We're all going to say that the players were very bad, but that he's hoping something better against during the weekend, and that everything's going to be perfect in the world of Mourinho if they win and they do well. But I think for some players, if you want to read between the lines, it's going to be very, very difficult. And I'm thinking about Dele Alli. I think very, very difficult to be in the first 11 if they carry on playing like that.
Yeah, and what did you make of it? Peak Mourinho, wasn't it?
No, first of all, it was typical Mourinho. You could say that first he park his bus in games and then he throw his players under the bus. I mean, the math is still good, but I don't like that attitude from a leader, not only talking about Mourinho, but I don't like that attitude from leaders that when you win, they say, I win, and when you lose, you say, they lose. And yes, that maybe been the kind of second team of Tottenham playing there, but still, he still needs those players. It's a long season in England. He will need them again. There is a transfer window first in 2-3 months coming up, so he needs those players. And that is not a way to kind of, I think they used to use that tactic, and maybe in the old days that was a good tactic, but this fragile young generation and players of today, that doesn't work. I think that it's more like Frank's business in Hollywood. It's all acting, I guess.
Stevie, having been on both sides of that fence, you've seen this plenty of times before. Go on.
I usually am with Jan on this, and I usually criticise Mourinho for flinging players under the bus. But I think there is a time that you can do it, and I think he actually got his time and spot on, because they were awful, they were atrocious. And he normally singles out people, but he didn't. He threw every single one of them into the mix, which I think helps, because nobody's going to say, well, he picked me out of everybody. He basically said everybody, and he was correct. And I also like what he said afterwards about he learned some things about some players, because that 11 that was out there was, I mean, they should be. The majority of them should be doing every single thing to try and get in this Tottenham side. And I think what he's saying as well, I know there's a couple that are just not really up for the fight, and they're not people I can rely on. And I agree with Jan that you can't, you have to rely on players because you don't know what's round the corner, whether it's suspensions or injuries or whatever. But I tell you what, I think there's a couple of them that have gone absolutely right out the back door and might never see the light of day again. So I'm going to agree with him. I think he timed this right.
Well, I was going to say, do you think that's going to get a response out of any of those players that were indicted?
Well, it has to. I mean, my goodness, the first team goes on a 10-game winning streak. You try to figure out as a player, how do I get in this team? And the only way you can get in the team is either by somebody getting injured or suspended, or something that you can do on the field. And so when you get a chance in a Champions League game and you show a bad attitude, wow, that's you deserve all the criticism you get from whether it's the manager or anybody else.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.